go, man.
Just go, man.
Just go, man.
Well,
Hey,
here we are doing that. Well,
so from our normal schedule programming, I would like to bring to your attention.
what's
Jerry?
that? XWing 2.0.
Oh!
Now this, I realize we're doing a video the day after, but it's kind of like when you get drunk at a wedding, you kind of sit back and the next day you kind of really say what you feel. So we got our news, got drunk on it yesterday, and now we've had time to settle it in and maybe go over some things. And
Again, from our normal, regular schedule programming.
Yes, Curtis has lost it.
Hey, you know what? Okay, so I spent about an hour and a half listening to them talk about 2.0. I really, I think that it's a fantastic concept that they're doing. But again, my downside to this whole thing, I'm going to say the negative part right off the bat for me, is why in heaven's name does FFG have to constantly, when they have a game going for a long time frame, all of a sudden just boom, you have a whole new load. The good thing about it, and I'm ecstatically happy about, is that they've made conversion kits so that you can still use all the old stuff.
A lot of the players wanted a change, so I mean, FFG was really doing what the player base was asking them to do. I wasn't asking for the change. I've got 200 chips that I have to upgrade.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault you spent so much money on chips.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, you know what?
I love the chips. I can't help it.
Hey, so do I. And, I mean, that was one of my biggest worries. I mean, I've got a good, huge collection. We all do. We all have a massive collection of ships because we fly more than one or two of the ship, right?
Yeah.
So we all have lots of collections of them. So you're like, what am I going to do? So the good thing is they come up with a conversion kit. So all the new stuff that is in the 2.0, you're going to be able to put in with the conversion kit to transfer all your ships over to the new 2.0 wave. And then they'll just launching, from there they'll be launching new ships. And pretty much fading out old XWing. It won't be no longer.
Well, that old XWing will be gone as of September.
Well,
so
it'll be gone as in like, it'll be gone to some extent. But there's still going to be stores that sell it and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, some of us have played War Machine and Hordes, and when they did their changeover, they sent all the stores the upgrade cards to add to their old stock. I'd be surprised if FFG doesn't do that. That'd be a mean thing to do, because I know all our local stores have tons of stock, and for them to just say, oh,
and then
well.
with the problem
the
problem FFG had when they Christmas by shipping all that stuff to all those stores, and then them finally shipping all that stuff to the stores where they weren't able to get rid of it all. Yeah. Now they have all their stock, so FFG is going to have to address that. I definitely agree. I mean, you can't leave every store selling the XWing product out to dry to hang with all that product and giving it nothing to deal with.
No, I'm pretty sure they'll probably address it. And I mean, we got till September. It's still a ways away. And I'll be sticking my nose in to see what they do and not. But what I thought I'd do is just go over some of their posted stuff, and we can just kind of discuss it.
So we're here to talk about XWing 2.0.
2.0. So as you brought up already, full collections of the first edition. They're going to have conversion kits for the Galactic, Rebel, and Scum and Villainy.
Right, but that doesn't include the Resistance, or it doesn't include the, what's the new fact? What's the
Resistance or
the Imperial one?
Oh Lord, I don't know. It's in here somewhere.
It's
Resistance and Imperial and, oh my Lord.
I don't know, man. There's five.
It was in my head 20 minutes ago when we were discussing it.
Five or six factions.
No, it's 5. It's going to be broken up into 5 factions. So your Imperial is going to be busted in half, and your Rebels are going to be busted in half. And
you won't be able to. Pretty much what's going to end up happening is you're no longer going to be able to fly Rebel ships with Resistance ships, which is what you're doing right now. We're able to use Resistance ships with the Rebel ships, but with the new 2.0, you will not be able to use those. So resistance ships have to be flown by themselves next to the rebel ships, which is fine to some extent because all they're coming out with now is all resistance ships.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with them making more groups. So anyways, why second edition? I'm just gonna read what they had to say. They're saying with X-Wing second edition, gameplay has been refined across the board, implementing minor tweaks and changes to improve the game flow, clean up interactions, and refocus the game on the physical act of flying starships. I have no issue with that. They've been trying to tweak and fix all their little OPs and stuff for a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's
it's a reset.
There's stuff out there that just kind of ended up taking the game to a whole different
and then
level, and then everybody's like,
fixes.
Why, like, you know, how much I love Miranda. I mean, come on, like she flies around the outside of the board, right? So
what about the disaster with the Jump Masters?
The Jump Masters.
I love those ships, but every week I was nervous to show up because I didn't know what they were still allowed to do.
Yeah, so I mean, you know what? It is what it is, but the new release.
Yeah. So let's see. The Force is a critical part of Star Wars Galaxy that has historically played a smaller role in the game of X-Wing. With the release of X-Wing 2nd Edition, we have a chance to implement the Force as an important part of the game, affecting how you fly your ships and the choices that you make in the heat of battle.
So the way the Force works is as follows. So each pilot and upgrade pilot cards. So like Luke.
No, not all pilots have the Force.
No, only the ones that have the Force, like Luke. As what I was about to say is the pilot upgrade card that has Force, like Luke Skywalker. When he's added to a ship, will allow you to add one Force to the pilot of that ship to use. So the way the Force works is it allows you to do little sneaky things so that you'll be able to maneuver or change dice or
change a result or something.
Change something along those lines, which...
But it gives them another element to be more creative.
Exactly. It allows you to... What it does is it brings Star Wars more alive. Because what is one of the biggest things Star Wars represents? The Force. Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Kylo, Leia, all those guys have the Force. So where is the abilities to use that? Well, now they've implemented it so that you can use the Force. I'm really kind of excited to see how it's going to pan out with the Force.
They could have called it Blue Dogs for all I care. It's another element.
And they changed all the green to blue.
When I watch movies, I don't see a whole lot of Force being used.
No, but I mean, it's not like
it's another element to the game. So it'll add some. It'll add some more,
depth. I think it's going to add some good depth.
Yeah, I'm not against it. It's just
and I like also the fact that they changed all the green to blue. They said for like colorblind people, so people are going to be able to see the blue, like know that it's actually a proper.
I was hoping they changed green dice color to something too, but they still have green and red dice.
Yeah.
Because I've had a couple colorblind say the green dice throw them off too. Faction identities have been strengthened in X-Wing 2nd Edition, giving each faction more unique tactics and strategies. Flying a squadron of scum and villainy starships should feel very different from flying Imperial Squadron. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and they're going to add the First Order.
The First Order,
that's what it was. And Resistance are going to reform into their own distinct factions. So, yeah, you'll have 5 factions.
Yeah, but I think that and they only, what I was watching today, they only really touched base a little bit on the more in-depth of how each faction works, right? So I'll just give you the Rebel side of what I heard. So like the Rebels, so their ability is to help one another out. They're always there because they're always like, oh, I got your back, no problem. We'll give you the punch and we'll be there to sacrifice ourselves to give you the punch that you need to make this work, right? Where at Imperial, what's their big thing? Every time anybody watches a Star Wars movie, what's Imperial's doing? They're always flying in swarms. So they're allowing, with Imperial, they're allowing you to get bonuses to flying in swarm. So when you're playing Imperial, you're not gonna. now you want to fly in Swarm because if you have a lot of ships with you, you're going to be able to get benefits for flying and keeping them close together. And Scum and Villainy, simple and plain. They said Scum and Villainy are there to backstab, do what they ought to do.
Yeah, except I like this line. Flying, what is it? That they should be unique. What have they taken away from my favorite Scum ship and given to all ships now?
Oh, Bullseye.
The Bullseye.
So you know what? But I mean, the Bullseye is now got in all firings, but the abilities to that is really good. So I mean, I can see why they inserted it into all the ships. But I mean, it's just like anything. Actions have changed. Actions are going to be changing. The way certain things are being done are changing.
I like the fact that the Bullseye was unique. I had fun with that. Now that everybody has Bullseye.
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens. I think
again, I don't think it's bad. It just they kill my jump masters and then they take my Bullseye away from me.
Comes the whining.
Oh,
here it comes. Yeah. Here comes the whining. You know, for somebody who's a Scum player, he whines a lot.
Yeah, whatever. You think with the whining I'm doing, I'm actually a Rebel player, but I'm not. And they've got the Squad Builder app that they're going to put out. Their Squad Builder app, because as we
I'm actually kind of excited about that.
Yeah, as we found out, the pilots and the upgrade cards aren't going to have values on them. No, you're going to go to your.
You have to build it in the app.
Yeah.
So if you
it allows them to play with mechanics and the values and stuff. I get that.
But the other thing that it does allow is are supposed to. I guess when you're building ships and loadouts and stuff, it allows you also. I don't know if the app is going to have tournament results that you're going to be able to put into it to see how.
Well, it's going to allow tournament. Yeah, thank you. Organizers to actually custom build what the layouts are for the tournament, so they could change the rules and apply it, and you just build.
And then the other thing is it's going to allow FFG to launch things through the app on like a campaign, like so some big huge battle that was partaking in one of the movies or a show or in the comics or whatever. Now FFG can launch that into the app and then allows all the tournament organizers to choose that and have all you guys play.
I think the big thing is with the app, like I said, there's no values on the cards, so FFG. I mean, we've had lots of cases after a tournament. It's like, okay, that build just owns everybody's ass. This is stupid. And then FFG's come up with some hokey, kind of card fix to try to even the other powers and stuff. Now they can just look at the situation and go, you know what? We'll make this one cost more and these cost less or whatever, and deal with funky builds through point cost.
Yeah, but see, that's what I mean, right? Their whole point was like it's really hard to maintain or fix a fix that needs to be fixed if it's on paper.
Yeah.
Because it takes a long time for them to get it done, to get it sent out to everybody. Where the app, now you're forced to build your loadouts in this app, which then allows you to, and allows them to realize, oh wow, this is not good. We're going to have to change this. They're using this card too much because it's way too expensive, or this card's way too cheap for what it does.
Like harpoons, they could have easily gone and said, okay, harpoons are now 6.
Exactly. Right. So like the harpoon missile. It's probably the strongest missile in the game. It truly is.
It is the best bang for the buck.
Like it truly is. So like that particular incident, if you were to take something like that and they see that, they're like, oh man, that's only a 4. Oh, we got to bump that up more because it's costing, because now you have all this other stuff that you can add to it to make it even more deadly. Yeah. So if they up it up, they bump up the cost of it. Now you're not going to be able to put some of the other stuff on so much.
And they're obviously planning to play with costs because the builds now are not 100 points at 200 points.
Yeah, they're going to be 200-point builds.
And they're still having the same amount of ships and upgrades on the table. So they're playing with the cost factor in there as well. So the next thing is now the highlighted...
And the pilot skills. You can't forget about
the pilot skills. Well, it's only up to 6.
Pilot skills are only up to 6.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Now, in the second edition of the game, your actions offer greater strategic depth than ever before. Some actions are read and induce stress when they are used. Other actions may be linked, allowing you to chain 2 actions together and push the limits of how your ship can handle in a dogfight. Because I think they're getting rid of push the limit.
They are.
They got rid of VI. There are upgrades that are unfortunately going to go bye-bye.
they're removing certain things that have now made implements actually straight into your ship actions.
Yeah.
So push the limit. So you're going to be able to do like a barrel roll or an action off of something, but now it's going to stress you automatically because it's a part of your ship automatically. They're going to have pilot skills on top of ship skills. So, and then both work together.
Yeah, I saw one where you take a focus, then you can boost, but if you boost, you take the stress.
Yeah.
So, and we were talking about the Force later. Here they put the Force is an iconic part of Star Wars galaxy, and some of the best pilots, including Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, have been able to use this energy source to push themselves and their starfighters to the limits of capability. Blah, blah, blah. Force, okay. Finally, when X-Wing 2nd Edition introduces Force powers into the game, giving Force-sensitive pilots an extra edge in the heat of battle, pilots with the ability to exert their influence over the Force have Force charges that they can spend to perform awe-inspiring feats. Awe-inspiring feats far beyond the abilities of normal pilots.
See, that to me I love it. I love that factor to it now, just because. I mean, okay, I'll use Luke Skywalker in this version right now. Who plays Luke? Does anybody play Luke? No. Nobody plays him.
Luke anyways.
Does everybody play Darth Vader?
Yes.
Yeah. That's because Darth Vader has a double tap. So Darth Vader gets 2 actions. That's why he gets used.
Well, he gets to use the Force already.
Yeah.
The Emperor, Palpatine, he uses the Force to change a die.
Yeah.
So the Force is already in there.
But I mean, being able to use that ability, like using that Force ability that Luke has to maybe help Han Solo get over that dice.
They're saying at the most basic, these charges can be spent to improve a pilot's aim or give them an extra push to avoid incoming fire. Using the Force lets you change a single focus result on an attack or a defense to a hit or evade result. When paired with upgrade cards, however, Force-sensitive pilots become even more versatile. Upgrades that require Force charges can make Force-sensitive pilots more perceptive of their surroundings. So apparently there's going to be upgrade cards just for
people who have the
Force. You give them something even better. While the Force can be a powerful ally in the midst of battle, it is also a finite resource. You must choose the right moment to spend your charges to ensure that you have the greatest impact on the battle.
I don't think you'll be able. From reading about the Force, I don't think you're able to actually regenerate the Force.
You get a couple.
I think it's like, so you have for instance, if you're flying Luke Skywalker and you have 3 Force tokens on Luke Skywalker, if you spend all 3 of those Force tokens within the first 3 rounds, then you have no more for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So. I think that's fantastic.
Well, I saw something too with things.
Or I think it exhausts them or makes them mindless.
I saw something with bombs or missiles and all that kind of stuff. Instead, we had the upgrade where you put the tokens on top. And now I see some of the cards, and this is just from view, so I could be wrong. Some of the cards just came with tokens automatically that you got so many uses, and then that was it. So yeah, they
extra munitions and stuff like that. I honestly feel that they're removing a bunch of. Same thing with the mobile firing arcs. And the 360 firing arcs, there's going to be like double arrows now. They were talking about double arrows.
Yeah, they're going to change that around.
They're making a lot of changes.
Getting to something you brought up at the beginning, conversion kits.
Yep.
It's saying here that the conversion kits contain a massive array. I imagine so, because a lot of ships. 2nd edition cards, tokens, maneuver dials, and I know upgrade cards. So
there could possibly, everybody be forewarned that there is probably going to be, like if you were to take, let's say, an X-Wing dial, it's probably going to look different than the new one.
Oh, the new dials are totally different.
There's going to be different maneuvers, different greens, different reds. So, and
I also have a feeling that when the kit comes out, some of the ships have been bumped over to the new
Resistance.
Because they're saying that they've made changes to the ships themselves and all that.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that the changes they made to the ships are like dial purposes and the upgrade bars and stuff like that with certain things. So I think that the kits, I'm looking forward to seeing what the kits are going to do. Me personally, and I think that you had a sheet here that kind of gave you a basis of what's in one of those kits. But
they cover a lot of ships.
They do cover a lot of ships.
Somebody online broke it down to, I mean, we'll spend $70 probably because they're $50 a conversion kit. Canadian, they'll probably end up being $60-70. But it works out with all the ships to like $1.50 a ship to replace all the cardboard and everything behind.
Yeah, so the old card, like,
so it'll be expensive.
So all the old cardboard you have, like all of the cardboard templates on the bottom of your ships that you use now,
everything is
gone. all the old, like the evade tokens, all that stuff has a different look. So I mean, even the maneuver templates, they put that nice. They put a stripe in the middle of the maneuver.
Well, they've got it so that all the maneuvers aren't covered. You can actually see the darn things now, which is kind of sweet. But yeah, no, there'll be lots of replacing. The damage deck is even different.
Yeah,
you're gonna have no choice but to buy a starter set.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, it's.
You're gonna have to buy a starter set and some conversion kits. And
you're gonna have to buy the starter set. It gives you but you get the new S foil. Come on. Like everything that's coming.
That new S foil, anyways.
But you're gonna get even just a regular S foil is coming in the new kits, right? The new S foils, and that's one of the things people are excited about. One of the other things that a lot of people are excited about is the subtitles. There's this, like, each pilot is going to have some kind of a subtitle on their card that makes them a little bit more unique.
I could care less about that. I just want to know what they attack with and what they do.
Yeah, but it'll be fun, right?
I guess.
The way the cards are, I even like the new setup of the way it has. If you look at the old cards, you have your attack and everything down the side, while the new ones have everything on the bottom. So you're not covering up, or when you have stuff on it, you're not covering up all your stuff. You're going to be able to see the bottom.
Well, that's the cardboard cards on the ships. They got rid of it altogether.
Yeah.
It's just lines. So in here, they're talking about bringing out the first order and resistant ships into the game. A key thing to remember is if your ships fall into those categories, you're not going to find any upgrades till the second release. Wave 2. There is going to be rebels.
There is going to be growing pains.
Yeah.
I mean, there is going to be growing pains.
There's some ships that are going to have to wait till the second wave before they get brought into the
game. And you know what? I think the purpose of what they're doing is probably to launch all the old ships and let everybody get used to the game first before they start integrating all of the other two new factions.
Yeah, but
the one thing I'm actually quite surprised about is there was a lot of talk about them creating a droid faction. So with the launch of a whole new game, why wouldn't they have just had the droid faction?
Because they already said they're doing 5 factions. None of them went the droid.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying is they should have somehow did that. But anyways, I'm just saying, right?
Yeah, no, I get what you said.
Because
they might do it under Scum someday. What else do we got here? Yeah, they're going over the Squad Builder app here. That sounds...
The Squad Builder app is... look, I think it's going to be unreal.
I think it's good. I like it. I like the idea.
The idea of the Squad Builder app is going to be good. Because you're going to be able to have that app, and they're going to be able to download stuff onto it. They'll be able to change ships. They're going to be able to make changes that are cost-wise. So you might go in one day and it might be this expensive, and then they find out that it's, we're going to change it. So now it's different.
Yeah, and we got changes happening. These are in the upgrade kits. The key thing to remember again, I mean, you'll get all the punch-out cardboard, chip cards, upgrade cards for the factions, but they're introducing medium bases.
Yes, medium base. Yeah. So they were talking about the Slave 1. That was the first one they were talking about. They were looking at the Slave 1, and they said the Slave 1, his base is way too big for the ship it is. So they're like, it needs to change. So they made a medium base. I think that's a really cool idea because there's ships out here that, to be honest with you, should have a medium base. I think the YT-2400 should have a medium base. I don't know what's going to happen with it.
I've got the ships that have medium bases coming. For Scum and Villainy, the G1A Starfighter.
So that's the...
medium base.
Oh, wow.
My M12L Carmagia Fighter, medium base.
Oh, the Kamiga?
That's getting medium base. And the Scourge H6 Bomber, medium base. And then, if we get into, the First Order. First Order only has one going to a medium base. That's the TIE CA Punisher.
Oh, the Punisher, yeah.
Punisher. And then our friends there, the Rebels. The Rebels got, let's see here, going to a medium base is going to be the K-Wing.
Yeah.
And the ARC 170, your ship.
Oh.
It's going to a medium base.
Well, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. That's quite a big ship. The wings kind of overspan the small base a little bit too much, causes problems. So I can see why it would go to a medium base.
So that's interesting. So we got medium base stuff happening.
But I mean, I'm quite excited to see what is going to transpire. And I mean, they've added pilots. Like for instance, Nora Wexley is also now in a Y-wing. So they've made a pilot card for her for the Y because she flew.
They have moved some pilots around, and my understanding too is some of the specialty kits that came out will not be in the second version. Some of those pilots have been removed.
Right. With that also being said, I want to touch base quickly on with the whole release of stuff. The Saw Renegades box set and the TIE Reaper box set that comes out will have both the version 1 and the version 2 in the box. So you're going to be able to get all the upgrades and everything from version 1 while we're able to still play with it through this time until they release this in Gen Con, which I find is total malarkey, just saying FFG. And then moving it, you'll have so your Saw Renegades. So you can go out when the new Saw Renegade comes out in a month here. You'll be able to go out and buy those nice looking ships that they come out with the Rebels and the new TIE Reaper. Buy them, and you're going to have those upgrades, those new templates, or the cardboards and everything for version 2. So any new ships that they come out with before they release it in Gen Con is going to have both sets.
Well, another benefit too is right now it's going to be a really good time to buy out people's collections and get all the ships that you did not have, and then buy an upgrade box and just have them ready to play. Yes, I have a feeling it's going to be. I think there's going to be some ships out there pretty cheap.
You know, it's just not that, but I also think that what's probably going to happen, and I think FFG probably took that into account, that there's probably going to be some people that are saying, I'm not playing this game anymore.
Yeah.
So, and because of the fact that they think that, and they think that it's a money grab on FFG's part, or henceforth, whichever. I don't agree with that. I just think with all the new additions to the game, all the new way they were talking to Lucas Films, I think it was Lucas Films, and they were working really close when they're building out the second the second version on how to really make it more Star Wars affiliated to the actual universe itself, instead of just kind of having its kind of own separate thing, but still have a little bit of joint with it. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what's going to transpire with the new set.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't know how you'd make changes like this without peeving some people off. I'm on the forums all over the place, and there's a lot of players that say they're going to come back. So in the end, I think the game will still be strong.
I think it'll be stronger because they're going to be bringing back more dogfights, which is what people were complaining about in the first place, is they weren't able to play more dogfights.
I'm looking at the in-store support and all that. And
it's going to be massive.
No, it's going to be the same idea as what they're doing for Legions, where they're setting up for store champions, and they're going to turn it into leagues and stuff like that. We'll see what this prize support is, but they're definitely, at least on paper,
so the prize
got a lot of prize support.
The prize support, from what the organized play mentioned, and they'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you'll find my email if you want. But the way I understood it from what I heard was the organized play is there's going to be two different ways that they do it. So you can make it so that the kits come to you, and that you have 3 different, like you'll have 3 months worth of stuff that you can play in tournaments, and then the new kit, then you get another new kit, and you can do another 3 months. Or you can have, just like, let's say you do it once every 6 months or once every 3 months, they'll just give you a single kit for just that 1 3-month time frame. So for instance, our group, which I run on a monthly basis tournament, the kit that we're going to be looking at getting would be the one that we have consistently every 3 months, where there's going to be a kit that lasts us 3 months. So there's going to be 1 month you get one portion of it, another month you get another portion of it, another month you get another portion of it, then you get.
I was also reading that they're going to make the kits more focused on the actual releases too, where some of the events to get the prizes is you have to fly the ships that were released that
wave
period,
in that wave, and they're also looking at trying to make it more the prize where they're going to come up with more of a story. So tournament organizers are going to be able to say, okay, well, our tournament this month is going to be based on this situation, which will be put on the app that they have. So, like, I think that FFG totally went really good direction with this, and I really think that the game has definitely.
I've never had issue with the prize support. The only issue I've ever had is the poor stores trying to get the prize kits out to them.
Prize kits out to them, or the product being shipped has been
the
Canadian
issue. Distribution's pretty poor on supporting the stores that way, but the prizes and all that, everybody loves the tokens and the cards and all the nonsense they put out.
But there's going to be more of that stuff coming.
So no, that's good. So I got kind of a recap here. But I thought, most of you have probably gone online and see what's in the conversion kits. Generally, you're getting 2 or more of whatever's Rebel and whatever's Imperial. And same with Scum and Villainy, you're basically getting 2 or more of everything that's Scum and Villainy. I think, to be honest, I mean, I have a huge collection. I look at this and I kind of cry a little bit. But at the end of the day, I know for sure I'll need 1 of each kit. And then for some things, I'm going to need to buy them individually. I mean, I got like 16 ties. There's no way I'm buying enough kits to fill 16.
No,
ties.
and they mentioned that in the conversation. There's people that have like 15 ties.
Yeah.
So they're saying, look, you're not going to have to go out and buy a whole bunch of new ships to get all the new upgrade cards. We're going to have those accessible for you to do.
Yeah, but it's the pilot cards that you want.
Yeah, and that the pilot cards are all in those conversion kits.
Yeah, but not to support 16 ships, to support 4 ships at best. So if you have 16 ships, you're not going to be able to fly.
No, but they said that there's ways that they're going to be working with that to help.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's still a lot of speculation.
I mean, I've got 8 A-wings.
I mean, it's a lot of speculation on certain aspects right now. I mean, I'll be honest with you. They're still working out some of the finer details on some of the situations. So I think that they're heading in the right direction.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as they keep going in this direction, they keep improving it and showing that they're making efforts to continually get out the proper information with the new setup.
There's going to be some growing pains, but I'll get over it.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, I got some points, just some points to bring up. No more 360-degree turrets. Each turret is represented by a mobile firing arc. I have no issue with that.
No, so now you're going to be able to actually move the mobile firing arc on the bottom. Yeah. So like with a caster, you have to make a decision on where the turret's going to go. Yeah. So the automatic 360 turret that like the Millennium Falcon has is now going to have a mobile firing arc. So now you're going to have to move it.
I'm thinking more like TLT and stuff like that.
That too.
I mean, it's saying right here, another one, primary turrets, like the Falcon, have a mobile arc that faces 2 opposite directions, like left and right. Turret slot weapons only face 1 direction at a time. So your TLT would only face 1 direction at a time, but if it's a 360 that's actually part of the ship, then you're going to have 2 directions.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to have it in. So if you, for instance, if you want to shoot it out the side, the turret will go just to the side. Yeah. If you want it to face in the front, then you're going to be able to have it face the front and the back. So it's going to be good.
And as we said, every ship has a bullseye arc. I kind of liked it when Scum only had it, but I love the concept. I mean, I fly that stuff. I love the bullseye arc concept, so I'm fine with that. Medium base size added. Some existing ships like Fire Spray and K-Wing are now medium size instead of whatever size they were originally.
Small base.
Yeah. Force sensitive pilots have force charges. Yeah. At base, squat building. Lists are 200 points, but the same size in terms of expected number of ships on the table.
So which means things are going to cost more.
Yeah, things are going to cost more, but then that lets them play, so it's all good. Lots of effects for charges, like proton torpedoes require you to spend a charge, and they start with 2 charges. So I'm assuming that the missiles and all that, they come with so many charges on them, and you spend a charge to make them work. Is how I believe it's working.
Well, I mean, if you technically look at it, I mean, you're not going to fire missiles. Missiles don't have like 1 missile. It's usually like 4 or 5 missiles in a rack. So
yeah, no,
I mean,
that makes sense. I don't have a problem with that. And it gets rid of extra munitions.
Yeah,
that won't be necessary anymore. We'll have charges instead.
Yeah.
Let's see. Many effects that use charges can spend additional charges for bonus effects. So if you like a proton torpedo, you spend a second one, and you get a change a hit to a crit. So you get like here, you get proton torpedoes. You have 2 charges. You can either fire it twice, or you can fire it once and get a bonus.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, there's
Alex will love that, because Alex loves bombs and
stuff
like that. Drives me bonkers.
Both of our guys that like playing bombs on a consistent basis will love it.
Yeah, they'll love that kind. Let's see, there are chain actions where you can do one action, then another. A replacement for push the limit. There are red actions that give you stress, like red maneuvers. So they're adding some actions. You're now going to get stress if you want to do them. That'll be interesting.
Which would normally be push the limit.
Yeah, pilot skills are now referred to as initiative. And
so like the highest pilot, I believe it's the highest pilot skill is the one that wins initiative.
Well, the highest.
I think that's how they worked it.
I'm not sure, but it maxes out at 6, and there will be no VI.
So you're not going to see 10 and 11 pilot skills
you won't
anymore.
See 7, 8, or 9 either.
You won't see 7, 8, or 9 either. No. So they've maxed out 6.
Here's the big one that made you roll your eyes, because we just finished creating templates for our league. There is a line down the middle of each template used to help deal with bumps and overlapping ships. So I'll be interested to see, because I never had an issue with that. You kind of knew if you bumped somebody, and you kind of knew if you overlapped them. So it'll be interesting to see what they touched up on the rules together.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't think that is going. I don't think it's there, but I don't think FFG is going to really be really strict with that, because there's so many squadrons and stuff out that have and I mean even themselves have created templates.
Yeah, but they'll just make new ones. They want to put it in there if it wasn't of some importance to them in some range.
Oh yeah.
There's now going to be a 0 range. Green maneuvers are now blue to benefit colorblind. We said that earlier. This is interesting. When ionized, ships do a blue 1 forward to prevent stress walking ships off the board, but can only take a focus action. That's an interesting
they'll be able to still take a focus.
They'll be able to take a focus, and it'll be a blue maneuver, so they'll be able to get rid of stress.
What we mean by the blue maneuver is they've changed the green to blue.
Yeah. So but what I'm saying is, before, when you were ionized, it was just the 1 forward, but it wasn't. It was a white. You still got the action. This is actually a green / now blue, so that gets rid of the stress. So
which still allows you to take a focus, but will only allow you to take a focus.
This one should be interesting for play. Barrel rolls no longer allow you to slide forward or backwards. You must be direct to the side. I'm a player that takes full advantage of barrel rolls, especially if I play Jump Masters and other things. So wow, that's gonna change.
If you really technically look at it, if you're in a show, if you watch the movies and they barrel roll, do you see them moving back and forth when they barrel roll?
Well, yeah, because when you barrel roll, you pull back, and that kind of barrels roll you back. And if you barrel roll forward, you push the stick forward.
Oh my word!
Anyways, it's changing. We will lose. They're improving sculpts for the models of the ships, and I think the big one they're pushing is the Y-wing, and I've seen that. We've all seen probably.
The new Y-wing looks really good.
It's awesome.
It looks really, really good.
I love it.
They put a nice little tip on the front.
They got little turrets on the top.
And it's smaller and not as long. Yeah.
Yeah. So dials are redesigned to make them easier to see all available maneuvers. So they're basically the same as the plastic dial kits that they put out.
Which people will still buy because they still
Yeah, you
have
can still buy them and still use them if you like the fancy plastic dial. But if you just bought them just so you can see all the, you don't need to do that anymore.
No.
No more blue target lock tokens.
Which probably means target locks are probably going to be automatic.
I'm thinking target locks will probably be specific to the pilot cards.
Could be that too.
There'd be something of that nature. Which, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, we've got Warcraft Games in Mission that makes their own stuff for this game. And they've done a thing with target locks where they make a card holder with the number, the letter on it. And then they give you one red one to put on the bad guy with the matching number. So, I mean, I'm thinking FFG is going to come up with their own style of that same sort of concept so that there's only the one token. Let's see. Yeah, because it says every ship needs a number token on its base now. Among other things, these correspond to the red target lock token. Yeah, so they're just marking it up. Upgrades are no longer locked behind factions. No more buying a Star Viper to get auto thrusters for your Imperial ships, and Imperial ships would come out simultaneously. So basically, if you just want to play one faction, you buy that one faction, you have the same cards everybody else does, which is what they did in Legions.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to access. So what they're saying is they're not going to be. It's not going to be like faction cards. Not going to be faction specific. So you're not going to have, like, for instance, Biston. One of my favorite cards is strictly Rebel. So if someone like that is in there, it's not going to be strictly Rebel.
It'll still be Rebel. What they're saying is that the cards that are available to all factions right now would come out in just a scum ship. So you would have to buy the scum ship as a Rebel player to play that card.
Oh.
Well, now that those cards will come in all the faction boxes. So, I mean, auto thrusters, good example, only came in a couple ships. Every faction loved to use auto thrusters. Now every faction will have something that's sold that has auto thrusters in it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that's not a bad thing. Only 5 direct hits in the new damage deck. Other crits have been changed. Only 5. That's great because that's 2 less than I'll pull during a game now. I'll only pull 5, not all 7. Woohoo! Oh man, they've done all kinds of changes to the pilots and the individual ships. And you know what? The one ship I can't wait to see what they did with. You're gonna love this one. Guess which one? The Hawk. I want to see what they did to the Hawk because that poor ship.
You know,
that has been suffering since the day it was released.
I like the Hawk. I like the Hawk.
I like the Hawk too, but give me a break. It's a flying. It's death.
There's gonna be a lot of changes. So yeah. I mean, we're gonna kind of cap it out here. We're not gonna go into too much more.
Well, we only got a couple more things to do.
So, but I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it's great. I think that they have revamped the game and have revamped it in a good way. And the positive outlook that they're getting from players and the community in an uproar is going to be good. Tournament sources are going to be changed. The way things are being done, they're going to give a little bit more support.
The Y-Wing is getting a red barrel roll, and Horton's getting an EPT slot. R2-D2's regen uses charges that have a drawback from using them. Could have used that in the last tournament when flying against Poe. Fire control system. You're going to have a target lock to get 1 reroll. Lambdas now have rear firing arcs. I love flying Lambdas. That's only going to make my
so is Jonas.
That's going to make my defender Lambda build a whole lot more
Jonas
fun.
loves those Lambdas too.
Yeah. So. Talon rolls. Fire spray has 1 turns. Fire spray's getting 1 turn. So you didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that.
No, that'll be awesome. No, I mean, as you can get from our notes and our blabbering here. It's gonna be a little bit of financial pitch in the beginning, but I think it's going to give the community a huge shot in the arm, and it's just going to be a stronger game afterwards.
I think that they haven't destroyed it or totally and utterly just dismantled it, But I think what they've done is when they did dismantle it and then rebuilt it behind the doors with 2.0, they have they've given it more of a boost. I think along the lines of like they're getting back to what the game originally was, and some of the stuff is.
There's going to be some in-depth mechanics, so it's going to
be a steep learning curve.
Yeah, there's going to be some more learning to it. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun. But anyways, thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
And just so you know, share, like, and subscribe.
Exactly.
And we'll be back. Check us out again next week when we'll be talking about some more fun stuff. And we'll keep you updated with 2.0. And we'll keep you updated with new ships and campaigns we're running and things we're going to be doing. Looking forward to it. Again, thanks for tuning in, and talk to you later.
Good night.
Good night.